nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide at all.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Somewhere in the Live Stream. I am your host, Ryan Sprague. And this is a live stream we do every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a fun show, I think. We've got some serious stories, we've got some fun stories, and a little bit of everything. But before we get to the UFO headlines of the week, let's talk some shop. I want to give a special hello, as always, to Suzanne, our moderator and possible future president of the United States. That's right. My fill-in vote this year is going to be Suzanne, because I know she's the one who will answer the UFO questions at the debate. If you are joining us on YouTube, go ahead and take part in our poll of which presidential candidate will be the ones to talk about UFOs and answer the questions seriously. I would love to know what you guys think. We'll get to that poll at the end of the show. But I want to give a special hello to all of our regulars. James Craig is here. Tim F is here. Richard Barron says, yay, Suzanne Suzanne 2024. I got so excited I knocked over my microphone. Dalen is here. Who else we got? Donnie Falls. Robert Zimmer says, glad I get to see this live this Sunday. My weekends have been crazy busy. Sorry to hear about your loss, Ryan. Your mother raised a good man. That is extremely kind of you. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Another welcome to Jordan. New to the live, but have been listening on Apple for a while. Glad I'm able to catch the live shows now. Thank you, Jordan. We're glad to have you here, my man. These are a lot of fun. Andres is here as well. Hello. Photography by Ruth is here. Looking forward to it, she says. So thank you, guys. If I didn't get to you, I do apologize. Scape VFX. Pat Gallagher is here. Jeffrey is here. Hello to all of you guys. What else do we have here before we get to the news? Oh, Doug Sprague. The one and only Papa Sprague was here last week, and man, was that a hit. And trust me, the man has been bragging about it all week. So we'll have to have him back on. It was so much fun. You guys had some awesome questions for him. So I want to thank you for joining us last Sunday for Father's Day. And you got to meet my father, the one and only Doug Sprague, and hear from him. So that was a lot of fun. What else do I have for you guys here? Oh, yes. As always, the super chat and the super stickers are open. So if you would like to help the show, that is a wonderful way to do it. Just click that, I think it's a $ icon right under the live chat, and we will feature your super chats. We will feature your super stickers and any of the listener questions you might have. Put them in the super chat, and that goes directly into supporting us here at Somewhere in the Live Stream and at Somewhere in the Skies podcast as well. If you can't do that, there will be a PayPal QR code that I'm going to put up in just a little bit that you can just scan right on the screen here, or there is a PayPal link in the show notes as well. Suzanne will be on top of all of that later in the show too. If you can't help financially, totally fine. I completely understand. All I ask is that you like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications. All of that stuff just tremendously helps us, boosts us up in the algorithms here on YouTube and in the podcast search engines if you're just listening to this episode in the future. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know how that goes. Independent podcasters, it's really hard for us to get visibility and find new listeners. With all these huge networks out there. We're on a pretty legit network. I'm not going to lie. We're on LIONSGATE Sound, which just picked us up about a month ago. So that's awesome, but we still need your help. So yeah, just click like, subscribe, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And I would certainly appreciate that. Before we go any further, check out this art, guys. This is given to me by our one and only moderator, Suzanne. So I have to thank her. Her and her husband went to a art exhibit in their hometown, and they had a UFO art exhibit going on, an artist who does a lot of this stuff. I have the card right here with me. This is from a series called UFO Sightings, Visions, and the Unexplained. Let's see here. And the artist, I believe, is a person by the name of Tim Jag. But I'll try to get some more info on that as well. Yeah, it looks like it was a really cool event, and she was so gracious to gift me with this piece. So that piece you see there is up here in the man cave, quote unquote, UFO headquarters for now, but it will be coming with me to Scotland as well. So thank you, Suzanne, from the bottom of my heart. I absolutely love it. This room is just getting more and more UFO-y by the day. Doug Sprague is shaking his head. I know he is. I've got the, what do you call it? The famous Roswell Daily Record story up there, too. We have got the Whitley Strieber alien bust from Communion over here. And yep, that is a Communion Gray, Andres. It certainly is. I had that specially made by a special effects artist in Hollywood. So yeah, if you are watching this on YouTube, welcome to Somewhere in the Livestream headquarters for now. What else do we have here? Oh, I went to a used bookstore here in Syracuse, New York, where I'm currently residing, and I got some gems, guys. Check this out. This is a Fate magazine from 1957 with a cover article by the one and only Frank Edwards. They had so many of these Fate magazines at this used bookstore that nobody's buying because apparently there's no other UFO enthusiasts in Syracuse, New York going to these used bookshops. But I've been making my way through this thing and it is just awesome. It's even got that old musty used bookstore smell. So yeah, I mean, just look at this stuff. How vintage that is. I just freaking love it. So that'll be making its way to Scotland with me as well. I also got this really cool book, the Gazetteer. I don't even know what that is. Of British, Scottish, and Irish ghosts. So for those of you who don't know, I am also a ghost hunter now. I co-host, I should say, a television show in Canada called Haunted, which you can watch the first 4 seasons for free right now at the Eastlink YouTube channel right here on YouTube. So just type in Eastlink Haunted and the channel or playlist should pop up and you can watch seasons 1 through 4 right now. I don't show up to about season 12, 13, so a little bit of a ways away from when I actually debut on the show. But my first season 12, I believe, will be airing very shortly in Canada. So I will have more information on that soon. And then, yeah, all the seasons are being rolled out on YouTube. So everyone across the world will be able to see the show, I promise you. Just might take a little time. So patience is a virtue. We got some crazy evidence, some of which I actually just posted on my personal Instagram account, guys. So if you're not following me, go over to Instagram, Ryan Sprague 51, I believe is my handle. And I posted one of our locations that we investigated last season where I had some crazy physical evidence happen to me personally at one of our locations. So be on the lookout for that. Just checking to see if there's anyone else I missed here. Hello to Kurt. Top find, he says. Yeah, I was very lucky. There's quite a few there. I might go back and grab a couple more. I actually bought an entire extra suitcase to bring back with me to Scotland because I'm bringing so much back from home here. So that'll be interesting. Nicholas is here. Ian is here. Hello, Ian. Podman is here. Hi, guys. Welcome. Last thing. I promise. I know I just said that, but last thing. Monster Fest, guys. Monster Fest is June 28th and 29th. That is this upcoming weekend. It's going to be taking place in Canton, Ohio. It's being put on by Small Town Monsters. If you guys don't know Small Town Monsters, check them out, smalltownmonsters.com. They're an awesome film production company, docuseries. They've done, television shows. They're literally what I consider the gold standard of like monster hunting, the paranormal, UFOs. They cover it all and they do an incredible job. And they put on this event, Monster Fest, last year. They're putting it on again this upcoming weekend in Canton, Ohio, and I will be there. So if you want to meet me, if you want to talk about UFOs, if you want to come to a live recording of the Somewhere in the Skies podcast in front of a live studio audience, I'll be doing that too, and so much more. So you can learn more about Monster Fest 2 in the show notes. There should be a link there. We might have one somewhere across the banners here too, if they're working. Up there they are. Boom. She's on top of it. So you can get your tickets and find out more information about Monster Fest 2 there, guys. I would love to see you. Love to meet you. I'll be signing books, all that good stuff you do at these events. So yeah, hope to see you at Monster Fest 2. Whew, that was a lot of talk shop. Let's get to the news, guys. We have so much to talk about. And I'm going to start with a fun story, space related. Maybe not so much UFO related, but possibly. But interesting nonetheless. So, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter just spotted something on the far side of the moon. Interesting. So, what was it? NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, or LRO, has captured new images of the far side of the moon that have revealed the location of a Chinese spacecraft. Ba-ba-bum. The images obtained by the LRO on June 7th reveal the position of China's Chang'e 6 sample return spacecraft, which was parked within the Opalo Basin. This geologically rich region on the lunar surface features an abundance of basalt resulting from ancient lava flows. So since landing on June 1st, Chang'e 6 has been carrying out a robotic lunar exploration mission launched by China's National Space Administration. Nearly a week after Chang'e 6's touchdown in the Apollo Basin, NASA's LRO passed above its landing site, allowing it an opportunity to capture images that revealed the Chinese spacecraft's location near the rim of a 50-meter crater. Billions of years ago, the area where Chang'e 6 is carrying out its mission was the site of a basaltic lava flow that made its way to the area, where it likely subsided once it met a geological fault believed to exist in the area. This is pretty cool. Since June 18th of 2009, the LRO has been observing the moon from its unique eccentric mapping orbit, providing crucial imagery for creating a 3D map of the lunar surface. So, I mean, we don't even have to wait. We literally just take the images, piece it together using AI and 3D, and we're going to get an entire map of the far side of the moon. You know, we've been waiting forever to find out what's there. And right now, we're catching images of China. So last September, the LRO captured images also of India's spacecraft and also that of Korea's Pathfinder orbiter. So we've got China, we've got Korea, and we have India all on the moon right now, including the US. So to discover what's going on the moon and get samples to bring back to Earth. I think that's what's most important, and that is part of China's mission. So what do we have here? Currently, Chang'e 6 is carrying out China's second sample return mission. The samples collected by the lander were transferred to an ascender module and carried to an orbiter where it docked on June 6th for its transfer back to Earth. The Chang'e 6 lander and its associated rover have also conducted experiments while operating on the lunar surface. So there you go, guys. There you go. We found something on the dark side of the moon. No, it was not aliens. No, it was not a quote-unquote UFO. Dalen said it was a lunar nipple. Yeah, pretty much. That's what it looks like. I should have slapped a R rating on this little bad boy here, I guess. Ian Smith says, Suzanne, I did mention it a few weeks ago. We need to talk about the Black Pyramid in Alaska. Yes, you did bring that up, Ian. I totally that escaped my mind. We will definitely, I'm going to look into that, and let's talk about it next week, man. If you can, send me an email or message me on social media to remind me, and I'll definitely dig into that, and we can talk about it next week. That would be super, super fun. A Chinese spy balloon nipple. Oh, God. Dalen, you never cease to make us laugh. I love it. We're so happy to have you here. Oh, so happy. Dalen is in my new book, guys. which you can get on Amazon right now. Stories from Somewhere in the Skies. Check it out. Dalen's story is extraordinary. Oh, gosh. That's why I put it near the end of the book. Sorry, guys. Just going through the chat here. Jordan says, just visited Kilcar, Ireland. Most beautiful place ever. Oh, I'm going to have to get over. I haven't even been to Ireland yet, and I live in freaking Scotland. Ugh. I got to get on that. That's like, I lived in New York City for 12 years, and it took me 10 years to go to the Statue of Liberty. And that's because Papa Spread came to New York, and he was dying to go there, and I'd never been. And honestly, it was one of the best experiences of my life. We got to like walk up into the statue, and we both almost had heart attacks. They don't really tell you that it's like 500 steps to get up there. But it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I got to get over to Ireland and go to the Guinness factory. Robert says, if the moon wasn't so old, I'd call it a pimple. I love it. Hello, Super Chuckles. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, I thought it'd be cool to start with a space story, guys. We'll see what happens when China brings back those samples and what we discover. Does this look familiar? If you're watching this on YouTube, you are now seeing an image of the infamous monoliths. So the monoliths are back, guys. Let's see. Another mysterious monolith found in the Nevada desert. So let's talk about this. Let's break it down. Similar versions of these monoliths were spotted in Utah, California, Wales, and Romania back in 2020. Do you guys remember that? Oh my gosh, that was like such a fun time. Not 2020 as in the pandemic, but the monolith. I guess pandemic itself was pretty fun. Let's see here. Yeah, Wales, Romania, 2020. It sparked conspiracy theories involving aliens, or that the appearance of the structures could be an elaborate, highly coordinated prank. The structures bear a resemblance to the one that is featured in Stanley Kubrick's film 2001, A Space Odyssey. So the first monolith was discovered by accident back in 2020 when wildlife officials were counting bighorn sheep from a helicopter in a desert near Moab in Utah. Moab. The object soon attracted hundreds of curious onlookers to its location, and its fame spread around the globe. Shortly after it was found, that monolith mysteriously disappeared. But the most current monolith was now reported to Las Vegas police and was even posted to Las Vegas social media. They deemed this monolith, which again you're seeing here on the screen here, an art installation that was at Gas Peak, roughly 40 miles north of Las Vegas. And the Las Vegas police on social media said, quote, "We see a lot of weird things when people go hiking, like not being prepared for the weather, not bringing enough water, but check this out." Over the weekend, police spotted this mysterious monolith near Gas Peak, north of the valley. These things are just so cool. I'd be so interested to know, obviously, as all of you are, who put them there, why. Is this some big social art experiment? Dalen says, oh, sorry, I missed that. They never put one if those in my asparagus-obsessed country down in northern Germany. They will, Dalen. Maybe you're next. Because unfortunately, I have to update you guys. The monolith in Las Vegas was taken down on Thursday afternoon, with the police citing, quote, public safety and environmental concerns. They said it would be stored at an undisclosed location, while authorities determine how to dispose of it or store the reflective 10-foot tall metal prism. Police ended with this on social media. At this time, there is no investigation into the object or the circumstances surrounding its existence. And the monolith mystery continues. Jordan says, does it say how tall it is? Yep, 10 feet tall. That's pretty freaking tall. That's 2 Ryans, basically. So I'm kind of giving away my height there. I would love to see one of these things, honestly. It's just so cool. so cool looking, and I love how it's reflective. Because like if you saw that, you wouldn't see this from a distance. Like this is literally something that you would have to walk up close to it to see because it is so reflective. Which I now understand could be a safety concern. Like if you were for some reason hiking in this area, like at dusk or even at night, which you probably shouldn't be doing in the first place, you might run smack into that thing and break your nose. So I could understand why it's a safety concern. It would also attract a lot of people to the area, which could also be a public safety concern as well. So again, I understand why it had to be taken down, I guess. Ruth says, I'm so glad the obelisk was taken down. Hopefully soon enough, not to start a social media trend this time. Leave no trace. It's still a mystery. Still a mystery of the monolith, and I'm so happy to see him back. Donnie says, it's where the sleeve stacks put the crystals. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Oh, the sleeve stacks. I haven't heard about those in a long time. Robert says, I wonder if they are solid and how heavy they are. I would love to know how heavy they are, to be completely honest. It looks heavy. I don't know. James Craig, thank you so much, man, for the $10 super chat. Its purpose, a total mystery. Welcome to our world, right? All of life is a mystery. Embrace it. But is it full of stars? Richie says. Very, very interesting question. Could be. So that's a fun story. Let's continue with the fun stories, guys. Our next one here. Here come the men in black. Galaxy Defenders. Sorry, had to take a sip of my beer there. This is a sponsored ad by Shock Top. What are you guys drinking? Let me know in the chat. I would love to know. I saw Suzanne drinking something. Tea, I'm guessing. Let's get to this story, guys. The Men in Black Birthday Bash Fest pays homage to the Maury Island UFO mystery. We're getting on to a lot of anniversaries, guys. It is the summer of UFOs, where a lot of the modern UFO era was truly birthed. And it really started with the Maury Island incident. Make of it what you will, whether it was all a hoax or wasn't. It's a part of UFO lore and really birthed everything that would come after it, including, which we'll get to, the Kenneth Arnold flying saucer UFO sighting, the Roswell UFO crash, and then eventually the establishment of Project Sign, the first ever UFO investigation carried out by the United States Air Force. Man, 47 was crazy. So on June 21st, 1947, Harold Dahl, his 15-year-old son Charles, and their dog were chartering a patrol boat with a two-man crew near the shore on Maury Island in Washington State. I just burped in the middle of my sentence, guys. That was so rude. I'm sorry. That's what I get for taking a sip of beer. Apologies to all of you out there. That's going to go in the bloopers reel eventually. Where was I? A two-man crew near the shore on Maury Island in Washington State when they saw 6 giant donut-shaped silver UFOs hovering over their barge. These objects were spewing white sludge-like fiery debris that actually killed the dog and burned the sun. So terrified, the men headed for shore to hide, and the UFOs zoomed back off into the sky. Harold Dahl alleged that the next day, June 22nd, he was visited at his Tacoma home by a mysterious man in black who took him to a diner and warned him never to speak about what he saw on Maury Island. That is the Maury Island incident. There's a lot more to it. I highly suggest Googling it, checking it out. So this sighting became known as the Maury Island incident, the first in a series of UFO sightings in the summer of 1947, and was also the alleged first interaction between the public and the shadowy men in black. So for the past several years, residents of Des Moines have been celebrating the area's relationship with UFOs and men in black. Let's see here. And this past weekend, they hosted the 3rd annual Men in Black Birthday Bash Fest in Des Moines, replete with dance parties, film screenings, and a whole lot of UFO talk. Over the years, the party has grown, even residents forming a fictional organization called the Maury Island Incident Historical Society. They also host Burning Saucer, where they give grandiose speeches and burn an effigy of a flying saucer. I love that. It's like Burning Man. Um, this actually, guys, is going to bleed into our next story too. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing an image of probably residents there celebrating at the party. They're all dressed as men and women in black, and it looks like a lot of fun. So I love this. I love when a town, a city, a state, whatever, can celebrate their UFO history. And we're gonna keep that going with some other parties going on, UFO parties happening as well. But I'm going to go to some starred stuff that we have here before we go any further. Robert Zimmer says, Dan Aykroyd claims he had a show that was shut down by the MIB. Robert, yes. I remember he was filming in New York City for a documentary, I believe, having to do with UFOs. And he saw a typical black Cadillac with men in black in it, and they straight up like told him not to take part in the documentary. So I don't know. Were they messing with him? Was it a prank? Who knows? But I found that pretty interesting as well. Hides in Long Grass says there was a father-daughter MIB cosplay team at the Grush hearing last July. That's cute. I like that. I like that. I'm glad people are having fun. I am. Probably not what a lot of very serious UFO researchers would want to see at a congressional UFO hearing. But whatever. Live your lives. Have fun. We take this stuff too seriously. What the hell is the point? It's ridiculous to begin with. Hides in Long Grass says Harold Dahl of the Maury Island incident was also involved in the JFK impeachment. I remember hearing that. I think it was on the Paracast. If you guys don't listen to the Paracast, I highly suggest it. It was probably one of the first UFO podcasts I ever listened to. And I remember they did an entire episode on the Maury Island incident. And yeah, Maury Island and Harold Dahl have some weird connections to JFK. And so does the next person we're going to talk about. And that is Kenneth Arnold. So let's get to that. Am I missing any videos? Nope, this will be our first video. This is going to be a cool video, guys. One I can guarantee you a lot of you probably haven't seen before. Extremely rare footage of the actual Kenneth Arnold talking about this UFO sighting. But let's give a little background before we do that. So tomorrow, actually, tomorrow, right? Today's Sunday, June 23rd. So tomorrow, Monday, June 24th, is the anniversary of the Kenneth Arnold flying saucer sighting. So the sighting occurred in 1947. This was the first post-World War II sighting in the United States that garnered nationwide news coverage and is credited with being the first of the modern era of UFO sightings. So while the Maury Island incident may have happened before this, it did not make national headlines like the Kenneth Arnold sighting did. So let's go ahead. I'm going to play this brief clip for you guys. This is Kenneth Arnold in a plane, mind you, talking about his UFO sighting. Awesome. I'm so happy I was able to find this. So give this a watch and we'll finish out the Kenneth Arnold anniversary on the other side. How cool is that? And the last point he brought up is what I want to ask you guys about. So in the first ever article or reporter, literally within like a day of the sighting, the first person to interview him, when Kenneth Arnold described these craft, he said, as he did in this video, that it was like saucers skipping on water. And then what happens after his sighting? After this story goes national and then international, everyone started seeing quote unquote flying saucers. But even in this clip, he describes what he saw not as flying saucers, not as a disc, but crescent shaped. He mentioned that one even had like a hole in the middle of it, kind of donut shaped, like the Maury Island incident. Go figure. So my question to you guys is, and post in the comments below the video. You can do it in the live chat too, but it's more important if you put it in the comments below the video because I want to get those answers in perpetuity. The live chat does eventually go away. I think it comes back eventually, but why? Why did everyone see flying saucers after the first quote unquote case wasn't actually flying saucers? I would love to know what you guys think in the comments. That's always irked me that this entire modern UFO era was based around this case. But if you're watching this on YouTube, again, Kenneth Arnold is holding like an artist rendition of what he saw, and that ain't no freaking saucer. I can tell you that much. That thing is almost like bat wing shaped, or even looks like our modern day stealth craft. To be completely honest, like a manta ray almost. So in no way, shape, or form did what he see even resemble a flying saucer in the slightest. So yeah, curious of what you guys think. And no matter the case, we are going to be celebrating the famous Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting tomorrow, Monday, June 24th. So I thought we should definitely talk about it. And he just seems like such a nice guy. I love anyone who inserts that into their stories. I says to the guy. I just love it. I love it. Um, let's move to our last story, guys, before we get to our commercial break. Not our last story of the live stream, I promise you. But before, we're going to take a brief commercial break, and we're going to return to another place that is actually celebrating a UFO anniversary, and that's Piedmont in Missouri. This is pretty cool. I think I've got a video for this one too. So Piedmont opens a UFO capital in their park. So in 1973, more than 500 UFO sightings, that's a lot of sightings, were reported in the southeast Missouri area of Piedmont and Wayne County. The epicenter was Clearwater Lake, where Reggie Bone and his Clearwater High School basketball team in Piedmont reported seeing a bright shaft of light coming down from the sky. They, along with hundreds of others, reported seeing a variety of UFO sightings in the area during the early spring of 1973. The report sparked national headlines and fueled a major boost in tourism in the area. UFO fans from across the country and world began to visit Piedmont. Fast forward 51 years later, Piedmont has officially opened the UFO capital of Missouri Park. So let's go ahead and watch this news segment from a local Missouri news station that gives us a little bit more information on this. So cool, so endearing. I love local interest pieces like this. So give this a watch.
Thank you. Over in Piedmont, a ribbon cutting was held today for the UFO capital of Missouri Park. Between February and April of 1973, residents of Piedmont and the surrounding area say they witnessed unexplained activity in the sky. A committee of business owners and people worked closely with the city to organize the park located at 220 Legion Park Road. We talked with one volunteer who told us how this will benefit the community.
The community is beginning to embrace it, and we are having different events that are UFO alien related. Different kinds of opportunities for businesses to embrace, maybe rebrand what it is they are doing, and embrace what we have going on here in this town.
Representative Chris Dinkins also visited Piedmont for the ribbon cutting. She sponsored a bill last year designating Piedmont and Wayne County as the UFO capitals of Missouri.
So cool. So cool. Again, any town that can embrace the UFO things that happen there, I applaud them, because for a long time a lot of places did not do that, and now you've got stuff like, obviously, the Roswell festivals every year. Piedmont's doing this. McMinnville's doing their thing. West Virginia, whether it's the Flatwoods Monster or what was the other thing that happened there? The Silver Bridge collapse. Mothman. Like, embrace this stuff. Yeah, it can bring tourism to your town. That ain't a bad thing. Like, UFOs, they're a business. I hate to say it, but it's true. Like, any town that has a history of anything is going to bring in people to come learn that history. I mean, look at all the freaking haunted houses that you can go tour, or historical tours themselves that you can take in towns. Why not have a UFO park? Look at the awesome stuff that happened in what was it? Up in like New Hampshire and all that with Betty and Barney Hill. Like, it's just cool. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, kudos to Piedmont. I hope I can go to that park someday and ride around on that flying saucer that they have there. That's pretty cool. Let me go to some of the starred stuff here. I think it has to do with what we're talking about. Robert says, I think it really blew up around the time humans discovered nukes. I think they are worried about this planet. Oh, totally, Robert. We talk about that all the time. Like that first nuclear detonation, frickin' Oppenheimer, man. Like, total beacon to whatever's out there of look at what that little blue planet over there did. We should probably keep an eye on them, and we should probably intervene. Things get a little too hot. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would have to agree with you there. Super Chuckle says, weren't the Germans experimenting with different shaped planes during World War II? I believe so. Yeah. I mean, even if you go back to like when they created the mythical, I guess, bell, like the Nazi bell, like they were experimenting with all kinds of stuff back then. Like even the occult and like using psychics and spies. It was a crazy time. It was a crazy time for those crazy Germans. I love my Germans out there if you're watching this. Tad says, heard that the motion was described as like when you make a saucer skip over water. Newspapers picked up on that phrase. Yes, Tad, you're referring to the flying saucer Kenneth Arnold thing. Yes, you're exactly right. They picked up on the phrase rather than the description of what he actually saw. And then, boom, everyone apparently started seeing flying saucers after that. So it's a real chicken and egg scenario, if you ask me. Pat Gallagher, Mothman could be crypto-terrestrial. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, maybe there's something in that recent Harvard paper about it, right? We'll see. Only time will tell. Hello to John is here, all work and low pay. Seeing if anyone else here is new. Ian, did I say hi to you earlier, Ian? Hello. Again, if not, Mary is here. Welcome, Mary. Gina is here as well. Alfred is here. Hello, guys. Hi to everyone. All right, guys. Let's take a quick commercial break. Uh-oh, somebody's here. All the dogs are going crazy. Go. Someone's here, buddy. There goes Titus. I love it. Whoever's here is getting ambushed by 3 curious dogs. I can tell you that much. Awesome. Let's take a quick commercial break, guys, and we'll come back on the other side with our two final very important UFO stories of the week. And yeah, stick around. We'll be right back. Check out this ad for Monster Fest, and I hope to see you there this upcoming weekend. Hey guys, Ryan Sprague here, host of Somewhere in the Skies, and I just wanted to let you know about an awesome event that I'm going to be partaking in on June 28th and June 29th. Small Town Monsters presents Monster Fest 2. The event takes place in downtown Canton, Ohio. Backed by popular demand, Monster Fest 2 will include Small Town Monsters panels, Q&As with guests, Small Town Monsters film premieres, meet and greets with people like me and other authors, other podcasters, and so much more. And if you have kids under the age of 12, they get in for free. So I hope you'll join me and so many others at Monster Fest 2, taking place June 28th and June 29th in Canton, Ohio. To learn more and to get your tickets, visit smalltownmonsters.com. Again, that's smalltownmonsters.com. And I'll see you at Monster Fest 2. The Somewhere in the Skies podcast is free to listen to every week, but If you would like to help support the show, we have a very active Patreon page where you give what you think the show is worth. In return, you'll get early access to the main show, bonus episodes, and priority to ask our guests your listener questions. Your support truly makes the show continue and grow. So, to learn more and to join, visit patreon.com/somewhereskies. All right, guys, welcome back to Somewhere in the Live Stream. If you are just joining us, we just covered a ton of fun UFO stories with you, but now it's time to get a little serious. And that's going to come in the form of our last two stories of the night. The first being about the upcoming U.S. presidential debates that are going to be taking place. So this story comes to us from several outlets, but the headline I have here is, let me pull up our famous, I hope it's not infamous, slideshow. I know both of those faces are going to make different viewers of this cringe, but we have to do it. We have to cover it because it is UFO news. A new campaign is urging presidential debate moderators to ask candidates about UFOs. So, there's a new campaign by the New Paradigm Institute that announced last week the launch of a social media campaign insisting moderators of the upcoming June 27th presidential debate hold both candidates' feet to the fire when asking UFO questions. So I actually have a brief news clip here from News Nation that I'm going to play for you guys that gives us a bit more detail about this story and what to expect. But before we do that, I want to go to your guys' thoughts on which presidential candidate will be the one to talk about UFOs and take it seriously if asked about it. So let's go to our poll that we have here on YouTube, and let's read the results that we have here. I asked who will bring up UFOs in the 2023 presidential debate or talk seriously about it. So a whopping 0% of you said Biden, 26% of you said Trump, 48% of you said RFK, and Susanna, I am so sorry, Suzanne Landers, 26%, neck and neck tie with Donald Trump. I'm sure she's extremely over the moon about that. But hey, there you go, guys. Most of you believe it'll be RFK, and let's be completely honest. You're probably right. He is a conspiracy nut after all. I've actually never heard him talk about UFOs or conspiracies. I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it. But yeah, there we go. Those are your guys' thoughts. But let's go ahead and watch this brief clip that I found from News Nation, who talked about this story. And yeah, we'll start to get towards the end here, guys. It's going to be a quick one tonight, but interesting nonetheless. Check out this clip from News Nation about the presidential debate and UFOs.
The war in Gaza, the border, all sure to be covered extensively in the upcoming presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But that leaves plenty of room for other, as of yet, unidentified subjects. Because there is now a push to get the subject of UFOs into the presidential debate. In fact, the hashtag disclosure debate is trending online as not only an effort to have President Biden and Trump address the subject, but to declare their willingness to declassify files related to UFOs and UAPs. That's unidentified aerial phenomena. And the subject may have more credibility than ever before. This will actually be covered in the presidential debates. And if so, what would Joe Biden and Donald Trump say? Just 4 months ago, or 4 months into his term, I should say, President Biden couldn't have been more dismissive when the subject came up.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, had a much more measured response just a few days ago when he was a guest on wrestler-influencer Logan Paul's podcast.
I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller, okay? Yeah. Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it. Yeah. And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
Beautiful, handsome Tom Cruise pilots. There you go, guys. That's all I got to say about that. I don't want to get political, even though it's a political story. But I will say, at least Trump was willing to talk about it, whereas Biden wasn't really willing to do that. So will that also play out in the debates? Whether you like it or not, Trump, Biden, RFK, whoever, like, if you talk about that in the debate, that's going to be all over the news. All over the news. And that's going to get more attention on you. So I think this campaign could work. I think it's going to get asked. It has in the past. And I would say maybe like 20 years ago, it was like nail in the coffin if you talked about UFOs at a presidential debate. Nowadays, I think it could only help you. I honestly do. And that goes from a national security standpoint as well, which is honestly probably how it will be framed if the topic comes up in the debates. And that's okay. Like, they're going to be asked questions about national security. They're going to get asked about all the horrible, stupid wars going on right now. Worthless, pointless wars. And it just sucks. It sucks that, like, it's going to take national security to get UFOs to the forefront when it comes to the presidential debate. But, hey, we'll take what we can get, right? So, yeah. It'll be interesting. I guess use the hashtag, guys. UFO debates, was it? Wait, I had it here somewhere. Can't find it, but yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this story, going into a little bit more detail about the group involved with this. So the New Paradigm Institute is encouraging like-minded seekers to lobby CNN, which is hosting the debate between Biden and presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump and independent candidate RFK Jr., to ask tough questions about whether or not they would release unredacted files about the U.S. government, what the U.S. government refers to as unidentified anomalous phenomena. Let's see here. The next president of the U.S. will make critical decisions about UAP disclosure and government transparency, NPI Chief Counsel Daniel Sheehan said in the group's statement. It's time for all presidential candidates to commit to UAP disclosure and transparency. What else do I have here? Daniel Sheehan said in the group's statement, it's time for all presidential candidates to commit to UFOs. Commit to UFOs regardless of political affiliation. The time has come to inject UAP into the political discourse of our elections. Operating under the Santa Cruz, California-based Romero Institute legal nonprofit, the MPI lobbies Congress and the public to urge the disclosure of any documents of UFOs or ET life the government might have. By its own recounting, the organization says that the military, intelligence, and aerospace industrial complex has, quote, information about UFO technology and non-human intelligences visiting us, and it's held in secret from Congress for over 80 years. Sounds a lot like what Grush was saying, if you buy anything that Grush is saying. Robert says they won't talk about it. We'll see. We'll see. It's only a few days away, the first presidential debate. Will it come up in the first one? I have a feeling if it's going to come up, it's going to be the first one. Because that's when you really, pull out all the stops. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, to say the least. We'll see where this story goes. And, hey, we'll be able to talk about it next week. That's for sure. Sorry, guys. Too much beer. I'm getting the hiccups. Steven says, it might be a good question to simply ask the candidates, quote, do you support the UAP disclosure amendment? Very, very carefully worded and right on point. I agree, Steven. That's perfect. If that's the only question asked, I would be happy with that. Very good. Very good. Kudos to that. Robert says, if they gave full disclosure, it would destroy religion entirely. And that's what they use to keep us under control. My microphone keeps falling because I'm getting excited. That's such a good point, Robert. I actually talked about this with not our guest this week, but next week we're going to have actor Thomas Jane on the show, actually. And we actually talked about that, how he believes that disclosure isn't going to happen because disclosure is the only thing that the government can hold ransom from us under the threat of national security. And they can keep controlling us because of that national security threat and pumping billions and billions of dollars into the military and into spying on our own people, mind you, and other countries as well. So yeah, we do talk about that. In terms of religion, I get that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see as this all unfolds. All Work Low Play says they might. The media knows it's a popular subject, just a touchy one when it comes to the military-industrial complex. They probably will lightly touch on it, mostly in jest. You're probably right. Still, even with how seriously the topic is being taken, you still get the laughs and the little giggles. And I don't know. All right, I'm sick of seeing these two faces on the screen. I don't know about you guys. Let's get rid of this image and let's move to our last story of the night. This is going to be an interesting one, guys. So you probably recognize a few faces on your screen here if you're watching on YouTube. You have Frank Kimbler on screen. You have Mitch Horowitz, and you also have Somewhere in the Skies correspondent, sometimes co-host, and she works for The Debrief. She has her own podcast, Rebelliously Curious, and that is the one and only Chrissy Newton. So Mitch and Chrissy have a brand new show that just premiered on the Discovery Channel called Alien Encounters, Fact or Fiction. And they hit the ground running in their first episode, guys. They actually had on the show Frank Kimbler, the geologist, who is the one who has uncovered many metal fragments out in the Roswell alleged crash site. I've had the opportunity to go out to the alleged crash site with Frank, where he found these metals. I had the opportunity to get some of these metal fragments tested at a very prominent aerospace and military metallurgy lab in California. And the results that I got were pretty interesting. In fact, I actually just before we went on air here, I posted a brand new article over on my Medium page that goes into great detail about the findings that I did on Frank's metals and the labs that we used and how he did it and all that stuff. And I also, in that article, have an exclusive interview with Mitch Horowitz of Alien Encounters, Fact or Fiction, where I talked to him about this story we're going to talk about right now. So yeah, there should be a link in the show notes for the article that I just published. And Suzanne can put it in the chat as well at some point. But yeah, I highly suggest and hope that you guys will read my article. I worked really hard on it, and it has a lot to do with this story we're about to talk about. So this story comes to us from the Daily Mail, and the headline is New Compelling Evidence Found at Roswell UFO Site could prove alien craft crashed in 1947. So let's dig into this. Geologist Frank Kimbler has uncovered over 20 unusual scraps of metal material, most no bigger than a fingernail, and has now submitted one uniquely odd metal for testing to the Discovery Channel's new series, Alien Encounters Fact or Fiction, hosted by Chrissy Newton and Mitch Horowitz. So we're going to dig a little bit into those findings, guys, but this is the reaction to the findings by Chrissy, by Mitch, in the premiere episode of Alien Encounters. So I'm going to play this brief clip from Discovery. Hopefully we will not get a copyright strike, but let's watch the reactions and then let's dig a little bit deeper into this story. All right, so give this a watch and I'll see you on the other side. Man, that gave me chills too. It's probably because I have a close connection to this story, obviously. We're going to have Frank back on to talk about all of this. We're going to have Chrissy on to talk about it as well. But yeah, for the most, immediate feedback and reactions to this story, again, please check out my brand new article over at Medium. I highly, highly appreciate it and hope you will do that. But let's talk a little about the results that these guys got from a different lab, which is extremely, extremely important to have these things tested at different labs. We'll explain why. Testing revealed that the metal was, quote, 100% pure aluminum, which experts said was compelling evidence that could prove aliens crashed in the area decades ago. Over the years, Kimbler has been open that many of the metal fragments he's recovered from the infamous crash site might have a more earthbound explanation. And that goes for some of the ones that I had tested, which came back as simple, soda cans or scrap metal. That's definitely a thing. But other materials that I had tested and that Chrissy and Mitch recently had tested, that ain't no Coke can. I can tell you that much. For some reasons we'll get to. To confirm what Kimbler actually found, the new Discovery Channel series sent the metal sample for chemical testing via mass spectrometry to independent experts at the Texas-based firm Cerium Labs, which specializes in aluminum metallurgy. And Dr. Tom Hassan, chief scientist at Cerium Labs, reported that the aluminum metal fragment was not only unusual for its purity, but it's also different from the typical industrial-grade aluminum used in manufacturing. This is not an alloy, Dr. Hassan wrote. This is pure aluminum. Of even more note, Chrissy Newton had the materials analyzed with a former Pentagon official who worked with ATIP, who confirmed that these materials have the same makeup as others recovered from previous UFO crashes. That Pentagon source remains anonymous, but I'm pretty sure we have an idea of who that might be. This is huge, guys. I'm just going to say it. Say what you will about this stuff being on television. It's entertainment, blah, blah, blah. Things are exaggerated. I've heard it all. I've been a part of it all. That being said, when you are taking something to a lab to be tested, an independent lab, they don't give a flying F about your TV show. They have a reputation to uphold. And when you have the chief scientist of a metallurgy lab saying that this thing is pure aluminum, this is not an alloy, and it is the most sophisticated, possibly manufactured thing ever found, what the hell is it doing in the middle of Corona, outside of Roswell in New Mexico? It makes no sense. Not only found out there, but found under the ground, mind you. This wasn't something Frank found on the surface of the desert. He had to dig for this stuff. He had to track it down with metal detectors. That goes for the fragments I had tested too. And what's really, really important that is stressed in Alien Encounters, and we stress on our findings as well, is that whatever these metals are, how do I explain this? They were burnt and they were peeled back. And the only way that that could happen is if it was part of an explosion and part of a extremely strong impact of some sort, a la a crash. So I don't give a flying F again if someone says that what we found out there was soda cans or trash. First of all, the Roswell crash site isn't within 80 miles of anything. So who the hell was out there drinking beers, drinking soda, having a party? Nobody. I can tell you that much. That's for damn sure. So yeah, I thought this was amazing what they found with this. And now the true tests begin. I did ask Mitch what comes next. He answers that in my article. So again, please go and read that. And I know this will not be the end of their investigation, Mitch and Chrissy's, into this. I'm not done with it. I'm still working with Frank. I'm working with Chuck Zukowski as well, who has some of these fragments too. I've got interviews with Chuck right here in the archives. I've got interviews with Frank. Just when we thought the Roswell case was kind of over with, guys, Frank shakes things up, and we might finally discover what happened there in 1947. So, awesome story. I knew we had to end with this one. Lot of fun, and could potentially change everything we thought we knew about the Roswell UFO incident and beyond. That's going to do it for news stories, guys. Let's go up to the chat and see what's going on in there. You guys always have a good time without me. Getting some FOMO over here. Hides in Long Grass asks, does Ryan have a Discord? I am so happy you asked that. I had a gentleman who reached out to me and said, Ryan, why don't you have a Discord? And I said, good question. What is that? I don't know. I'm not up with the times, guys. That's all I can really say. So I had a Discord built from scratch that is going to launch very soon. And this is just another avenue where all of you here in the chat can come join the Discord and have conversations all the time. Whether like one of these live streams is going or a new episode of the podcast is premiering or whenever. The Discord is always there. And you can always have fun conversations over there. Post news stories that we'll eventually have on the live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I will be launching that Discord very soon. We're in the final stages of getting it going, and I'm so excited for you guys to become a part of that over on Discord, and where we can further the conversations on all of this and touch on some of the stories we talked about tonight. So that'll be a lot of fun. Hides in Long Grass also says, MUFON is supposed to release material next month. I heard about that. Has something to do with Russia, so I'm a little skeptical. Uh-oh. It looks like my microphone's out. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Thank you, Suzanne. It looks like my microphone got unplugged at one point, so I probably sounded weird. Let me go and... There we go. I should sound much more beautiful now. Those dulcet tones. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know when the microphone went off. But anyways, yeah. MUFON is going to be releasing some stuff next month. So we'll see what they say. Hi, Layla. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Layla's here. Say hi, Layla. Hi. Rah. Look at that overbite. Isn't she so cute? Oh, hi, baby. Hi. All right. Hi. Hi, buddy. Come on. Hi. Look who else is here. It's Maddie. Maddie times. Say hi. Look. Look. This is my sister's dog. Titus is the loner. We'll see. Maybe he'll come up. I'm so happy you guys got to see the dogs before we left. Hi, buddy. Speaking of, has Ryan been keeping up with Skinwalker Ranch TV series? Bill, that's a good question. I actually haven't. I totally didn't even know there was like a new season. I got to catch up, man. I've just been doing so much, whether it's this or my new wrestling podcast. Gosh, I've barely had time to like watch anything other than wrestling and the new Alien Encounters television series on the Discovery Network. Hides and Long Grass says, Ryan over 40, what's Discord? Dude, I'm sorry. God, it's just not my thing, okay? Jeffrey says, Ryan, are you familiar with Andy at That UFO Podcast in Scotland? Might be a fun collab when you get back. Jeffrey, not only am I familiar with Andy, but he's one of my closest friends and colleagues. We talk all the time. He's contributed to our live streams here in the past. He's been a guest on the podcast several times at this point. I'm also a member of UAP Media UK, which is an organization that Andy co-created. So yes, we are super tight, good friends, and we always chat about podcasting and everything in between. I've gotten drunk several times with Andy in London, and yeah, I owe him so much. I'm just gonna leave it at that. The dude has helped me as I helped him when he started his show, and that's what it's all about, guys. Like, I know that a lot of the UFO shows out there, there's a lot of drama all the time, but there isn't any community. But I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, there's none of that when it comes to like my quote unquote competition, and that is That UFO Podcast, one of the highest rated, downloaded, reviewed podcasts out there. And I couldn't be happier for Andy. He deserves it. There's so much work that goes into this, guys, that I don't think a lot of people truly understand. How the quote unquote sausage is made. Suzanne is slowly learning, even here with the live streams. But we do this because we love it. We have a passion for it, and we enjoy doing it. And that comes with a lot of sacrifices, whether it's time, money, relationships, reputations. So yeah, I wouldn't be where I am now without the support of friends, family, all of you, Andy, my incredible fiance, Jane. Like, it takes a village. It truly does. And you guys are my village. And Andy is one of my fondest and most supportive villagers as well. So yeah, check him out in the archives. And I've been on his show a few times too. So that's what it's about. You know, all what is that? All tides rise, all ships. That old saying. Totally butchered that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right. Gonna check one more time here. I think that's gonna do it, guys. Let's talk about what's to come with Somewhere in the Skies releasing tonight at midnight. We have our first new interview on Somewhere in the Skies in a very long time. You know, during my hiatus when all my personal life stuff was going on, I did post some old interviews, but this is going to be one of our first new interviews, and we are interviewing Greg Agigian, who is a history professor at Penn State University, who just came out with a brand new book called After the Flying Saucers Came. It's an incredible book. I highly suggest you guys go give it a read, and we talk all about it in this interview, which we'll be releasing on the podcast at midnight EST tonight, I guess Monday morning technically. And it'll be available in full video format as well right here on YouTube tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was so good to catch up with Greg. Greg was actually like my third guest ever on Somewhere in the Skies. So the dude really took a chance on me from the very start. And I met him in Phoenix at a UFO conference. We became close friends after that. And it's so good to finally see his book come to fruition. I really got to set up this microphone better. So good to see the book finally come to life. And I was just so happy to be able to talk about it finally with him. So yeah, be on the lookout for that coming to you within the next 12 hours or so. Super, super cool. And last but not least, guys, thank you for joining us tonight on Somewhere in the Live Stream. If you haven't already, click that like button, subscribe, ring that bell, turn on notifications. All of those things help boost us up in the algorithms here on YouTube and makes us more visible to more people. If you're just listening to this in the future on a Wednesday, because I release it on Wednesdays or thereafter, subscribe, all that good stuff on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get the podcast. I will say this, Apple and Spotify, I need you guys to go there. I know you might not listen to the show on those platforms, but those are the biggest and most important platforms to get the word out about Somewhere in the Skies. So if you can, please, 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 please head over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and rate and review the podcast there. 5-star, 1-star, I don't care. We got plenty of 1-stars on there. Don't hurt me none. As long as you rate and review, that's all I could ever ask of you. I thank you for all of you who have done that. It really, truly does help us gain visibility and find new listeners. I'm going to check the chat one more time, and then we are out of here, guys, so you can have the rest of your Sunday night to do as you please. Ryan, ask Christina Gomez for Discord rules. Keep things civil and gives moderators rules to guard against. That's good. That is good to know. I will reach out to Christina. She's a good friend of mine as well. She's been on the show in the past. Yeah, it's going to be a learning curve for me, guys, over there on Discord. So bear with me. Bear with me. All right, that's it. That's it. We did it. What a fun show, guys. And a little bit shorter than usual. I can't believe it. God, I talk so much. But this is a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot happened this past week. A lot, I'm sure, is going to happen within the upcoming week. So if you see any UFO news stories, please send them to me. I'd love to talk about it. I listen on Spotify. Not sure if I rated yet, though. I'll get to it. Thank you, All Work Low Pay. Truly, truly do appreciate that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And yeah, guys, exciting times we live in with all of this. We'll see. We'll see what happens next week on Somewhere in the Live Stream. But I'm going to leave you with our mantra, as always, here. And that is, keep your feet on the ground, but never stop searching somewhere in the skies. See you next week. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I'll see you later. Peace.
There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide at all.